Okay, my friends, so what I'm doing over here is generating a whole bunch more data. That means that the numbers I see in this spreadsheet will not match exactly the ones on your exam, but that doesn't matter. I'm not after the exact values. Statistics is never after the exact values. It's about the estimation of an unknown value based on the samples, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm getting some more samples. So what we're looking at here is it's the same thing you looked at before. We're generating a lot of values, and then over here we're going to take that deeper dive. Here's that funny little graph that doesn't start at 0. I'm going to fix that real quick. Let's set the minimum to 0 so it's actually meaningful. There we go. And then we've got strategy 1. If you always guess A, always guess B, always guess C, or always guess D. And then you've got strategy 2 over here, which is if you randomly switch every time. And you can see that, the chance of being right, as maybe you figured out already, is about 25%. However, there are differences. Now, a mathematician would view these numbers different than a statistician would. What I'm trying to teach you in this class is how to kind of bridge that gap between those two places. So when you look at the largest percentage currently right now in the spreadsheet, it's that 25.95. And I can hold down the F9 button again here and get some more data to kind of fluctuate as it goes. And you can see the bars are moving up and down a little bit. But right now, it looks like there's a slight numerical advantage in strategy 1, always guessing D. Now, statisticians are going to view this as what it truly is, which is sample data. That's all you're looking at here is sample data. In other words, if I stop at any given point, that simply represents the results of all the samples I took. It doesn't represent the actual behavior of the entire population over all time. And that's why you had to add the margins of error on. On this tab over here, I've got them calculated for you right here. Okay, you don't have to know how to calculate them at all. But the margins of error for the results you have right now are about 1.3%. And it looks like, even though I ran a few more trials, it looks like strategy 1D still has a slight lead in the right there over strategy 1A. And if you go back here, yep, strategy 1D still is the highest percentage in the chart, and strategy 1A is still the lowest. Not by much, but still the highest and lowest numerically. Well, here's the problem, though. A statistician would say, yeah, but you don't know what those percentages are in the population. You didn't check every single person trying those strategies. So you have to add and subtract the margins of error. And that's what I did here and here. In those two places, you can see where a statistician would tell you the percentage of time you'll get it right is. So for example, in strategy 1A right now, you wouldn't simply say you're 24.23% likely to get it right. You'd have to add and subtract that 1.3 from that 24.23 and give the range of values. And judging from the graph, I'm going to pull it off the graph here, it looks like it's just about 23% up to maybe 25.5%. So a statistician would not say it's 24.3%. A statistician would say, I'm pretty confident it's between 23% and 25.5%. And you would do the same thing for strategy B, or strategy 1B, strategy 1C, strategy 1D, or strategy 2. Now, what does it mean to be indistinguishable from each other? I'm going to give you a hint here without giving you the answer. And if you need more detail, you can go back to those intro to stat videos. Look at the highest and lowest values of all the ranges. In this case, you're not looking at all of them. You're just looking at strategy 1A and strategy 1D, I believe, on the exam. Look at the high and low values on those ranges and compare them to each other. Can you say with statistical certainty that any one range, all its values, is completely above or completely below the other range in its values? If you can answer that question, you can answer the question on the exam. All right, let me know if you get stuck.